there is some chaos going on down in the low country of South Carolina. I am talking about the Alex Murdaugh case, or Alex Murdaugh. He says his name a bunch of different ways. I've heard it. Alex Murdaugh. His lawyer calls him Alex Murdaugh. I mean, the bottom line is he's a convicted double murderer. And now, because of this complete chaos down in the low country, this guy might get a new trial. Now, there's a clerk of the court, okay? Now, her name's Becky Hill, and the bailiffs are under her. So she's like in charge of the running of the courtroom, not running of the trial, but kind of like the administration of the courtroom. And one of her jobs, along with the bailiff who worked for her, was to be in charge of the jury in Murdaugh's case. And she wrote a book shortly after the trial with a co-author. And the book came out, and now chaos has erupted, and the allegations by Alex Murdaugh and his defense team is that this clerk, Becky Hill, went into the jury room before Alex testified and told them not to be fooled, to read his body language. She's also accused of having private conversations with the foreperson, one of which took place allegedly in the jury room toilet room.
Well, okay, let's be realistic here. My understanding is that that the defense counsel has presented 4 certifications, of which only
affidavits. I remember growing up, my father would always be talking about affidavits, and I never knew what the heck he was talking about.
I have a brother named David. Does that count?
Have you ever have you done affidavits?
Of course, I do affidavits all the time.
Jonesey, have you ever been involved with an affidavit?
No, I've never really been involved in a court case other than fighting a parking ticket or whatever the case may be.
Interesting. You've never sued anyone?
No, I don't. I would have to be hard pressed to sue somebody. I'm not into that kind of thing. As much as that.
If you've been hurt in a car or bus accident, I mean, you should reach out to Al.
That's right. Remember my motto: have a fall, give me a call.
I would sue under extreme circumstances, but I wouldn't do a frivolous kind of thing. And nothing's happened that I needed to sue over. Every corporation, whoever dismissed me or fired me, they gave me that giant payoff, so I wouldn't sue them.
I love when they catch the people who because when surveillance cameras weren't like everywhere and people didn't think that they were everywhere, the people with the fake falls in the aisles of grocery stores and stuff, they would pretend to fall, and then you'd see the video. Hilarious.
I had a friend who did that for a living. He was a private investigator, and he would be planted outside somebody's house for like 22 hours. Hence, he became a huge fan of radio because that was his little friend while he was there, and that's all he did. He would go stalk the complainant or the fraudulent participant, and catch them playing going
to aerobics class or something.
Aerobics class
or shoveling their driveway. That was always the big one, that they would get them to shoveling their driveway or bringing out their garbage can.
Pickleball.
Exactly. Speaking of pickleball,
Mets fantasy camp.
Pickleball. Today, I think I overdid it. I was playing outdoor and I dove for a ball.
Ooh.
And at the moment I did it, I was thinking, why did I just do that?
Yeah. What kind of surface was it?
It's like a tennis court surface, like outdoor.
Oh.
Like there was one I was going for and I was reaching and it had some spin on it. There's this guy, and his name is Alex, great guy, incredible athlete, but he always puts this spin on the ball, and it spun away from me, and I kept reaching, and finally I was like, you're not getting it past me this time.
Did you get the shot?
No, I didn't get it over the net.
Did you win the game?
No, we didn't win the game either. It was a lose today. But that's
And you tried.
that is pickleball. And for those of you out there who don't think it's a physical sport, I've got the bruises, I've got the scrapes to show that this is an all-out game. Like,
Well, either that or you just don't play it well.
no, I played really well. I mean, my 30-something teammate was impressed with me just leaving it all out there on the pickleball court today. So, anyhow, so what?
That's why that's the same way they get impressed when like a 110-year-old woman blows out candles on her cake. That's the same kind of impressed that they are. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that wonderful? There's only 14 pounds of spit on the cake, but all the candles are gone.
I saw this woman on the news, 100 years old, and she's like, and they said, well, what's it like? She's like, oh, it's great. And I didn't think I'd be 100 years old and have all my marbles. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. It was amazing.
So we've gone to these affidavits now, and there were 4 affidavits that have been filed with the court, to my knowledge, 2 of which have not been signed by the alleged jurors. They were signed by the paralegal who they apparently had a conversation with, which I'm always suspect of. And then the other.
So wait, explain that. So an affidavit is a sworn statement, right?
Sworn statement, correct.
It's the same as testifying in court, but you're just not being cross-examined.
That's correct. And what it is just you're laying down the facts, same as the certification or something along those lines. So you're laying out the facts as to what you believe was the situation under the circumstances. But in this case, they were interviewed by a paralegal. Now, they were not interviewed by the defense counsel, because if that happened, defense counsel becomes a witness.
Right.
So then they can't necessarily be able to, then defend or whatever and be a witness at the same time. So you have a paralegal.
Now, let me break this down for a second. So you have 2 jurors who sign their own affidavit, meaning this is my statement. I swear under penalty of perjury that it's true. And then the other 2 are the paralegal saying, I swear that this is what they told me.
That's correct. Right. And then the two people that did sign their affidavits, the one was that nut job chicken egg lady.
Alleged nut job.
Well, no. She's not alleged. Believe me. I mean,
she brought eggs to the jury room.
Yeah, exactly. Who does that except for, Vincent Price's egghead?
But I didn't realize. No. They're fresh eggs. And eggs you don't have to put in the refrigerator. I don't know if you know this.
That's correct.
I live in the country now. A lot of people have chickens and eggs and whatnot, and people just leave their eggs out. You don't have to put them in the refrigerator.
Then why does the supermarket put them in the refrigerator?
I don't know. Al knows. He knows everything.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I do know how to read the code on them to know whether or not they're, like which was the
good eggs or
how long they were when they were laid as opposed and put into the box as opposed to when you bought them.
Right.
That I can figure that out.
I buy this brand, and I'm not doing a plug. I just happen to like them because they're different. They're called Happy Eggs, and I guess the chickens are happy. But
they're on drugs.
Yeah. But the color of the yolk is just this amber, bright amber. And it just makes it so much more appetizing. Costs like $1 a dozen, but to me, it's worth it.
The Amish market are the best eggs that I ever get.
Do they refrigerate them?
Well, if you buy the deviled eggs, yes, they are refrigerated, which is usually what I purchase from them.
Are they allowed to use electric, the Amish?
They're not even allowed to use the word devil. Whenever we order them, if we say deviled eggs, they say, do you mean seasoned eggs? Because seriously, that they get insulted when you call them deviled eggs. But they have refrigeration. They have stoves. I mean, they have a whole, they serve pre-cooked meals.
Yeah, let me tell you something. The biggest farce is this whole Amish thing. Okay?
Well, I mean, we may have a lot of Amish viewers.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So I'm in Lancaster. I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
No, you're in Lancaster.
Lancaster, whatever the hell I'm in. I'm in
Lancaster.
I'm there looking for the happy eggs, and there's this big restaurant, and it's 100% authentic, Amish restaurant.
Great.
Okay, 100% authentic, real Amish, the whole 9 yards, and they have valet parking. How does that happen? Yes,
They can't drive the car, right?
They had valet parking, and they had something even better. Go to our website. How does that happen?
The girls are so cute and so sexy in their little outfits, I have to say. And the boys have such great haircuts.
Well, I guess we'll be doing the next show may be NAMBLA, ladies and gentlemen. We may be going forward on that topic.
I think there are workarounds, just like for Orthodox Jews who can't use electricity and they live in the city.
Yeah, but they'll have a Shabbos boy, right?
Right. They'll have someone that'll press the button in the elevator and maybe turn on the lights in their house. So there are workarounds. So that's my guess that there's a workaround. I don't think it's a scam, Al.
Well, I'm thinking scam because why am I entrusting my car, to a person that shouldn't be able to drive a car?
No, my guess is they outsource that. They probably outsource the valet people.
I'm a little suspect, Vin. I'm sorry. I'm not as forgiving as you. Okay. I look at it.
I trust my fellow man.
I say why, but all right. So now two people signed the chicken lady, and then the guy who got thrown off the jury, for misconduct, signed the affidavits. The other two people did not sign their affidavits. The paralegal signed. Now, this happened. The foreperson of the jury having conversations with the court personnel is not uncommon because they have to. These people, would have to be dealt with for meals, dealt with for,
Wait a minute. You have to discuss the meal in the jury room toilet room.
Well, maybe that, or you have to just maybe the foreperson said, I saw something that I wasn't comfortable with, and I wanted to bring it up to you. Okay,
I wouldn't be comfortable being accompanied to a bathroom.
Oh, yeah, this is the one that was ogling the young girls and the young boys of the Amish persuasion.
I like a nice private bathroom. I don't want anybody coming with me. When I was on a game show in LA, because of the laws, from the scandals in the 60s, they would have a producer accompany you to the men's room so you wouldn't meet the contestants or anything while you were there.
No, wait a minute. No.
Why is that funny? I said something funny. Hey, Vinnie, I'm funny.
Wait, you've got you've got
what
handler. You have a handler going with you into the men's room. Is that what's going on?
Was that they call him the wiper? Okay.
I was on I've Got a Secret, and my secret was that I had broken the world record for longest radio broadcast, 100 hours and 42 seconds. And I was on with Charo and James J. Bullock, and that chick that was in every movie, including Easy Rider. She was in the cemetery scene.
Nancy Dickinson.
No, she was in she was like a blonde hipster woman.
Greta Garbo.
No. But nonetheless, I was on and I won $1,000.
You won $1,000 at Gino.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done, Jonesy.
Yeah. And the limo driver had a bottle of whiskey in the bag for me. Was
it Dorothy Gish?
No, I wish I could remember her name. But she was she was in everything. She was kind of like a B movie actress.
So,
Connie Stevens?
Nope.
Oh, Connie Stevens was an A-lister. Connie Stevens.
I'm sorry, I'm bringing that up, but Lily
Terry something or another.
Terry Garr?
Yes.
Terry Garr.
Terry Garr's an A.
You think so?
Terry Garr's in Young Frankenstein. She's phenomenal in Young Frankenstein. She's in whatchamacallit? The movie with Bill Murray and Dustin Hoffman, Tootsie. She's in Tootsie.
Well, how did she end up on a game show with James J. Bullock?
Yeah, I would say she's on the bubble. Like, she may have had a cup of coffee on the A list, and then she was called back down to the B list. I don't think her career was long enough, right? And I think it's self-evident in that we couldn't remember her name.
Yes.
Well, he couldn't. We remembered it, and I remember the movie she was in.
Yeah, I don't.
Right, so these certifications. So you got 2 disgruntled jurors, and you got 2 other people who didn't sign. How is that a case? And it was a unanimous jury verdict.
But not if it's true. What if it's and by the way, all the jurors now are lawyering up. And I think there's going to be a split and a divide perhaps amongst this jury as to
didn't
their recollection of what happened.
Didn't the accused hire like 2 of the most highest profile lawyers in that region?
Can we though look at this from this? Why did the woman write a book, and why should she be allowed to write a book while she's working?
She cleared it. I spoke with her co-author. She cleared it with the state ethical board, whoever oversees court clerks, and it's not a money grab. Like, the defense was alleging that this was a big money grab. She wanted the guilty verdict. She wanted to write the book. It's a self-published book.
Oh,
there's 30,000 in the hole right now.
Yeah.
They're selling it themselves on Amazon for $20 a pop. I don't know how much Amazon takes of that, but they've got to sell a bunch of books in order to.
Well, they're going to sell a bunch of books now.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, but I think they're going to have a hearing about it. I think the judge from the trial, because of some of the allegations involving some of the jurors and the conversations, may become a witness in all of this. So they'd have to put it in front of another judge. But Al, do you agree that if a judge finds that these allegations by a juror or jurors is valid, that this clerk said anything about the trial with the jury, then he's going to get a new trial?
He should get a new trial if that is the circumstance.
Yeah, right. It's a big if. It's a big if.
It's a huge if. And I don't know if they're going to be able to prove anything on that. And, quite candidly, as I said, if I'm not mistaken, Ben, I mean, we covered this on Court TV. I mean, the jury deliberated for several hours.
Well, this is another part of it, is that another allegation is that in the beginning of the case, the clerk asked the jurors if there were any smokers. And I think they had 6 smokers on the jury. So they
it's South Carolina.
Yeah, so they take their smoking break. But when it came time for deliberations, the clerk said, no smoking breaks, and you guys should be done quickly with this. Is that a problem?
So I find it interesting.
You guys should be done quickly with this, putting like a time on whether or not you should convict this man.
I find it interesting that you 2 are very skeptical about the charges, whereas when I watched your coverage and read about it, I bought right into it.
Yeah, no, to me, I rarely take the bait on these post-trial issues brought out by defense attorneys, because it's always, the appeal, this problem, that problem. And I'm always like breaking out the violin. And I say, good luck with the appellate division, and we'll see you in 3 years.
This is a good one.
But then, no, this is real. This is someone who has the appearance of the power of the government, coaching or instructing or advising or opining to the jurors in the midst of the trial. That if it's true, and I don't know if it's true, I want to see and hear the testimony, because of the grain of salt I use in evaluating these allegations after a conviction. But there should be no conversations. They shouldn't have. You're not allowed to have a conversation with your spouse. You can't have a conversation with your best friend. You can't have conversations with other jurors about the case until it's time to deliberate. And the allegations are that all this is taking place during the course of the trial, most importantly, just before Alex Murdaugh took the stand.
The sanctity of the jury trial is really paramount to our jurisprudential system. So, if there is a fly in the ointment, it needs to be looked at. And I mean, I agree that it should be
Gross.
What?
That is gross.
Fly in the ointment is a
got like
song by
a cut.
called Why.
You've got a cut. You put some Neospore in it, and there's a fly in there.
I don't like when that happens.
Gross.
Hey, Vinnie, what kind of, you said, you take it with a grain of salt. What kind of salt do you purchase? I purchase Morton salt because I remember the jingle. I remember the logo.
But it rains and pours.
Rains and pours, right? Yeah. So often when I buy these items in the supermarket, I'll go with stuff that I was raised with.
No, not me.
Morton salt or Red Cross.
But don't put salt in the wound.
Yeah,
okay?
well, but I will put salt there if there's a fly. Maybe it'll kill the fly. Listen, Himalayan pink salt.
I use that.
Pink.
Big chunks. So good.
Why is it pink?
So good.
Because it's from the Himalayas.
From the Himalayas. It's Himalayas.
It's kind of
Himalayan, Jerry.
Happy eggs and pink salt. What the hell?
I put it on my happy eggs.
I'd like to have a happy egg.
I'll tell you what, and come down here to Georgia, I'll make you a happy egg. Something sounded wrong about that.
Yes. Good point. The devil went down to Georgia.
No, not the devil. The seasoning went down to Georgia. So here's where we are. So we're at the point now where I think like anything can happen. It's amazing how there's like 5 lawyers in the Low Country, and they all they all are friends with each other. They're mortal enemies, and they're all representing everybody. So anytime anything happens, the same people are representing someone in the controversy somehow entangled in this case. So like the guy who's representing the people that were suing Alex Murdaugh, now representing some of the jurors. Other jurors being represented by the defense attorney's good friend who was also suing Alex Murdaugh during the trial. It's really...
Isn't there a point where that becomes a conflict?
No, it's all part of the same hypocrisy. It works. That's the system. It's the system. I mean, especially in a small town. I mean, it's the same people. That it's the same lawyer. It's funny, in New Jersey, okay, we have a thing called Legal Protection Plan, which is a group of attorneys that represent cops, okay? And you have to be part of the plan in order to do it. The original plan had 10 attorneys. Then all of a sudden they opened up membership because everybody's uncle, cousin, nephew's niece, they wanted to get them involved. They put them on that. So now there's like 350 attorneys. It's still the same 10 attorneys that get all the work. Okay, so, I mean, that's the way it's going to work, Jonesy. It's always going to be like that.
Yeah, it's
an the old boys, old girl network. And that's what happens.
But what we're seeing in the Low Country is even smaller because it's small town stuff down there. I'm telling you, when I was down there covering the trial, and we're in Colleton County, which is nice. They have a little downtown in Walterboro, but like to eat, there were a couple of downtown restaurants that were only open on like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's amazing how small it was. And
when you were doing your live remotes there, when you did your live remotes there, I noticed that the restaurant would start closing while you were still on the air.
Yeah. The second hour of my show is 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. There's people there finishing up their dinner by 9 o'clock. They're wiping the tables behind me. And this is one of the more popular places, Fat Jack's. It was great. But
chicken fried steak with that gravy. Oh,
yeah. And I saw a place that put on the menu chicken fried chicken, and I'm like, isn't that just chicken fry? But it's not the best.
Not a
department.
Yeah. So during the trial, they knew all these people would be coming from out of town, and there literally weren't restaurants. So there were like 3 food trucks that parked across the street from the courthouse that were feeding all these people. And one of them was like, the guy running it was literally from Italy. And I think it was his wife or girlfriend was from the streets of Philadelphia. So they had a good combination of some decent, like Italian subs and cheesesteaks. in Walterboro, South Carolina. It was amazing. And then, of course, there was a good barbecue truck as well. But, if you're there for 3 weeks, 5 days a week, and there's 3 trucks, there's not a lot of variety. So it was interesting. And then there was a pizzeria in the downtown, and we went there one day, and somebody was complaining, and there was like this near brawl, lunchtime brawl at the pizzeria, and some guy didn't get his order. It was hilarious. So,
Did they use ketchup instead of red sauce?
No. It was the real deal. This guy was from Italy. He was from Italy, and I don't know. He and his girlfriend from Philly decided to settle down in a small town. Cost of living super, super low, and it is what it is. But we are where we are. We're out of time, but we are going to continue, obviously, to stay on top of what's happening down in the Low Country, and we're going to see if we have Murdaugh 2, Electric Boogaloo, the sequel to this trial. In the meantime, say goodbye, Jonesy.
Goodbye, Jonesy.